12 royal palaces, 600 luxury cars, and a $100 million superyacht called Batty's Way. These are some of the possessions of King Mohammed VI of Morocco, the richest African king on earth. Early life and education and personal life. King Mohammed VI of Morocco was born on August 21, 1963 in Rabat as the first son of King Hassan II and Lael Latifa Hamu. He was destined to one day take the throne, but before he could rule, he had to learn, and not just about being a king. His father made sure Muhammad got a strict education combining religion, politics, and academics. At just 4 years old, Muhammad started attending a Quranic school at the royal palace. He would wake up every day at 6 a.m. to recite the Quran for an hour before heading into regular lessons. That was his routine. His father believed in discipline and wanted him to be sharp. So Muhammad wasn't alone in his studies. He had a group of 12 classmates, hand-picked to challenge him. They were all extra smart, and the competition kept him on his toes. As a kid, Muhammad didn't get to explore the outside world much. He spent most of his time inside the palace walls, but that didn't stop him from dreaming. He loved a song called Breakfast in America by Super, which talks about travel and adventure. It's no surprise that Muhammad excelled in languages. He was fluent in Arabic and French and had a knack for picking up new words. After finishing his primary and secondary schooling at the College Royal, Muhammad went on to study law at Muhammad VTH University in Rabat. He graduated in 1985 with a degree in law, but that wasn't the end of his education. He went to France, where he earned a PhD in law. In 1993, his thesis focused on the relationship between the European Economic Community and the Arab Maghreb Union. It's clear that even as a student, Muhammad was already thinking about how Morocco fit into the bigger picture. By the time Muhammad VI finished his education, he was well prepared for what came next. With the death of his father, Muhammad stepped into his biggest role yet, King of Morocco. Ascension to the throne on July 23, 1999, Morocco experienced a significant change. King Hassan II, who had ruled for many years, passed away. His eldest son, Muhammad, was ready to take his place. At 36 years old, Muhammad became king. Muhammad VI. His official ceremony happened a week later. In his first speech as king, he promised to help the poor, create jobs, and improve human rights in Morocco. Before becoming king, Muhammad had been preparing for this role. In 1985, his father gave him the job of coordinating the country's armed forces as his father's health got worse. In the 1990s, Muhammad represented him at important meetings and events both in Morocco and other countries. Once he became king, Muhammad VI started making changes. He wanted to make Morocco a better place for everyone. One of his first actions was to remove the strict Interior Minister Driss Basri from his position. He also brought in some of his former classmates to help him run the country. In 2004, he introduced a new family code called the Mutawana, which gave women more rights and power. Muhammad VI also wanted to address past issues. He set up the Equity and Reconciliation Commission to look into human rights problems that happened during his father's rule. This was a big step towards healing and moving forward. In 2001, he got engaged to Salma Banani, who became Princess Lala Salma after their marriage in 2002. Together, they have 2 children: Crown Prince Mil Hassan, born in 2003, and Princess Lala Kadia, born in 2007. For a while, their marriage was seen as a modern fairy tale, but in 2018, the couple quietly divorced. Despite the split, Muhammad remains close to his children, especially Mil Hassan, who is already being groomed to take over the throne one day. Now that we've looked at King Muhammad V's journey to the throne and his personal life, let's look at another intriguing aspect: his wealth and assets. wealth, and assets. King Mohammed V of Morocco is often described as one of the richest monarchs in the world, and his wealth is nothing short of extraordinary. This isn't just about luxury cars and grand palaces, it's about the vast network of businesses and investments that make up the foundation of his fortune. At the heart of it all is Almada, a massive holding company that's a key player in Morocco's economy. The king and his family own about 60% of this company, which operates in industries like banking, mining, retail, and telecommunications. Through Almada, the king indirectly influences almost every major sector of Morocco's economy. For example, it holds major stakes in Adiari Bank, one of Africa's largest banks, and manage a mining giant focused on valuable metals like gold and silver. It also owns main Morocco's biggest hypermarket chain and Wana Inwi, a major telecom provider. Almada's valuation runs into billions, ensuring a steady flow of wealth for the royal family. King Mohammed V also has a strong presence in agriculture, which is a cornerstone of Morocco's economy. Through his private holding company Saiga, he owns Leo Agrials, one of the largest agricultural enterprises in the country. This company produces everything from citrus fruits to olives and dairy products. One of its standout brands, Shirway, is especially popular. Lemon Agricole manages over 12,000 hectares of farmland, making it one of Morocco's biggest land owners. The company's exports are significant. In 2008 alone, it exported 170,000 tons of citrus fruits. Agriculture in Morocco is tax-free, which further boosts the profitability of these ventures, adding millions to the king's income every year. The king's wealthy lifestyle is another fascinating aspect of his wealth. He owns at least 12 royal palaces, each more extravagant than the last. His primary residence, the Dar al Makhzen Palace in Rabat, doubles as an administrative hub. Another gem in his portfolio is the Royal Mansour Hotel in Marrakesh, a luxury retreat often frequented by high-profile guests. Maintaining these palaces is no small feat. Reports suggest that the daily cost of running them is around $960,000, covering everything from staff salaries to general upkeep. This expense is funded by the Moroccan state as part of the monarchy's annual budget. When it comes to luxury, King Mohammed V spares no expense. His collection of over 600 luxury cars includes iconic brands like Ferrari, Aston Martin, Rolls-Royce, and Bentley. Among these, his favorite is said to be the Aston Martin DB7, a car that oozes sophistication. He also owns a $100 million superyacht called Baddies Y, a 70-m vessel equipped with VIP suites and high-end amenities for air travel. The king has a fleet of customized planes, including 2 Boeing 747s and 2 Gulfstream G55s, all fitted with luxurious interiors. Beyond Morocco, the king's financial interests extend internationally. He has investments in Europe and Africa, further cementing his global economic footprint. In 2015, leaked documents revealed that he held accounts in Swiss banks, which is illegal for ordinary Moroccans. This sparked some controversy, but also highlighted the extent of his wealth beyond national borders. His annual budget, which includes expenses for palace staff, maintenance, and state functions, is estimated at around $300 million. In addition to this, he earns substantial dividends from his business holdings, ensuring a consistent and sizable income. Despite his huge wealth, King Mohammed V's financial empire hasn't been without criticism. Many Moroccans struggle with poverty and the disparity between the monarchy's riches and the average citizen's life has led to diverse, loud, and secret uproar. Leaked diplomatic cables and reports have accused the monarchy of corruption, alleging that royal business Interests influence major projects. King Mohammed V's net worth is estimated to be in the billions, making him not just a wealthy monarch but also a major player in Morocco's economy and politics. Whether through his business ventures or his political reforms, the king's influence is felt far and wide, but as his wealth continues to grow, so does the debate about its impact on the people of Morocco. Let's look deeply at his influence in Morocco. Political influence and governance. King Mohammed V has been leading Morocco since 1999, steering the country through times of change, challenges, and opportunities. His reign has been a mix of big achievements and lingering controversies, leaving a lasting mark on Morocco's political and social landscape. One of the most talked about moments of his leadership came during the Arab Spring in 2011. This was a time when people across the Arab world took to the streets, demanding more democracy, fairness, and accountability from their governments. Morocco wasn't left out as citizens voiced their frustrations about corruption, lack of freedoms, and the king's far-reaching powers. In response, Mohammed V introduced a new constitution which was approved through a public vote on July 1, 2011. This was a big deal because it gave more power to elected officials. For instance, the prime minister, now called the head of government, had to come from the political party with the most seats in parliament, unlike before when the king could pick anyone he wanted. The new constitution also promised better equality for women, going beyond political rights to include social and civil rights. However, the king kept control over important areas like the military, religion, and foreign policy. While these changes were seen as a step forward, critics felt they didn't go far enough. They argued that the reforms still left the king with a lot of influence, especially in areas that mattered most. Despite these reforms, corruption has remained a thorn in Mohammed V's reign. In 2010, leaked U.S. diplomatic cables accused the monarchy of widespread corruption. They claimed that people close to the king and businesses linked to the palace had too much control over major projects, especially in real estate. This discouraged foreign investors and created frustration among Moroccans. Then came the Panama Papers in 2016, which linked Munir Majidi, the king's personal secretary, to offshore accounts and tax havens. These revelations raised more questions about how the monarchy managed its wealth, but the palace stayed silent, and the allegations didn't lead to any major consequences. However, they did show and bring to the open Morocco's wealthy elite and the many citizens struggling to make ends meet on the international stage. King Mohammed V has worked hard to put Morocco on the map. One of his most talked about moves was restoring diplomatic ties with Israel in 2020 as part of the Abraham Accords, brokered by the United States. In return, the U.S. recognized Morocco's claim over Western Sahara, a region that has been at the center of a long-standing dispute. While this decision stirred up some controversy, it was a strategic win for Morocco, opening up new trade and cooperation opportunities with Israel. In 2017, Morocco rejoined the African Union. After a 33-year absence, the country had left in 1984 because the organization recognized Western Sahara as an independent state. Coming back was a way for Morocco to strengthen its ties with African nations and push its stance on the Western Sahara issue. The king has also been building stronger relationships with global powers like China and Russia, focusing on trade, energy projects, and infrastructure development to diversify Morocco's partnerships